Stugotz. I'm a dinosaur roaming the plains of this new futuristic landscape, the digital space, just sort of lumbering toward the end of my career, shaking my fists at clouds.
Right.
Just going toward the end defiantly with no spark left, just playing the same sports hits for too many years. But last night, I was hit with an inspired spark.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And you might say that the spark started here with someone tweeting at me, LeBatard sprays his hair on. Nothing else needs to be said. You're wrong, sir. Something else needs to be said. I do spray my hair on, but that's neither here nor there. I am now inspired to take our little underdog spaceship, a national show that sometimes says that thing, and I am ready for all of us to go to war with the city of Philadelphia.
Done.
There were so many Philadelphia sports fans hammering me last night, hammering our show because I just said I want the fun of Ben Simmons hating Philadelphia and Philadelphia hating Ben Simmons back. I have said that Philadelphia is cruel, and Philadelphia says, no, I'm not. Fuck you by Twitter. We're not cruel. You spray on your hair.
That's how you respond to that.
So let's do this. Let's do this, and let's go after the city of Philadelphia, and we are going to be led. Mike, I'm sorry I'm late to this party. I see the disappointment in your face.
I feel like it's Mike's territory.
Don't think I want to sign up for this. Hey, all come follow me now that I'm in this thing. And your boy was out here taking grenades in the foxhole for 2 years. I actually had no problem with Philadelphia today. I publicly said Joel Embiid should be MVP. You enjoy this, but also fuck them.
He should be MVP, but our war with Philadelphia goes back some time, because back when you were Andre Iguodala, Drew Holiday 8 seed, and we were scared Heat fans because
I miss those teams. I got to be honest.
We were scared Heat fans because we had no idea after all the dancing on the stage. We had no idea that it was going to be that hard. We thought it was going to be super shortcut Miami. Woo! We're the Warriors of Durant and Steph. We crush everybody. It's great fun. We were scared of Iguodala and Drew Holiday as an 8 seed. Mike, I need you to admit it. And your hatred.
I think they might have been a 7 seed, Dan, and it was Heat and 5. I think it was Heat and 5.
No,
it was.
They beat
they beat us once, which back then felt like, oh God, this is going 7.
But Mike, you were scared a little bit,
No,
right? It was a different Iguodala. No, I mean, no. Okay.
Never.
I don't think I believe that.
Never been scared of Philadelphia.
I don't think that
including the one series we lost to them. It's like you're playing Justice Winslow.
Well,
come on, get out of here.
I do love, so the history of basketball, okay, has basically been written, Stugotz, over the last 40 years. And the history of the basketball is a big thing that everyone has consumed when it was on television, not the finals on tape delay. Comes with Magic and Bird, and it's Lakers and Celtics throughout this time, and the Sixers sneak in there.
Yep.
And those are your three, really. Those are the 3 teams. Moses Malone gets in there. I still remember all the things.
Why?
Hold on. I remember all the things with Mo Cheeks, Andrew Toney, James Ivoroni, Bobby Jones. Those teams made me a fan of basketball.
It was Mark Ivoroni. That's a fine. Couple of dollars.
Very good. Who else was on that team?
Bobby Jones, 6th man of the year, coming off the bench. Billy Cunningham was the head coach.
Steve Martin was a prop comic.
Did you say Tony, Mo Cheeks? You got them all, huh?
Well, I was asking you to name
Jones.
Oh, Caldwell Jones. That's a good one.
Why?
It was those 3 teams.
It was those 3 teams. I would say the Pistons have something to say about it. That Sixers team won 1 title. In my lifetime, they have won 0 titles. I'm an old man, Dan. I've been working as a professional for 18 years. All right? I remember Iverson, and that game 1 victory on the road kind of felt like a title, but it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
They have 3 titles in their illustrious history. 3. You know who else does? Miami Heat. I've seen all of those in my lifetime. That's a marquee franchise. I'm not sure what this is. Well, I don't know why they pound their chest thinking they have some history. You ain't got no history. Just disappointment. But I can't remember. Was the last time they made it past the first round, the second round, Allen Iverson?
Yeah, it would have to be.
Yes.
Yeah, do they even play into May? Honestly? I haven't seen this team play basketball in late May since I was a little tyke, a wee tyke.
Well, this is what I want to talk about because in Philadelphia, a proud sports town, I want to go through the history of our meager rivalry with this city.
Philadelphia is a great sports town, and it actually has history. They have one of the more bewildering random Super Bowl champions. It's one of the great stories. But when it comes to basketball, they have a bravado as if they accomplished something, and they are not. They are not one of those franchises.
Mike, they have one of the great teams of all time. I mean, that 81-82 Moses Malone team is one of the great teams of all
Boomer.
time.
I never saw it. Never saw it. This is not stuff that happened in my lifetime. It doesn't count.
Not in Mike's personal record book.
Also, Ben Franklin was a serial killer.
What?
He was. I mean, what normal person has 12,000 bones in their basement? That is 12,000 more bones than anyone should have.
Ben Franklin was a serial killer. Put it on the poll at LeBatard Show, Guillermo. Was Ben Franklin a serial killer? Doug Peterson was responsible for Don Shula's record-breaking win as a coach, was he not? Doug Peterson as a quarterback, and then
where they beat Philadelphia.
But
you're not dragging me into this, Dan. I'm not taking the bait. I'm fine with Philadelphia, despite it being the worst airport in the United States.
No, ours is worse.
No way. No.
Ours is worse.
What? I've been to both.
Are you talking about Fort Lauderdale?
When's the last time? When's the last time?
You say you've been to both. I've been to both. I hate the Miami airport.
Did you have to walk through the Philadelphia airport standing tall? Because I had to duck. Low ceilings, man. And the weird thing where every gate attendant actually looks like Benjamin Franklin, but haunted, kind of the way like Chris Elliott did in that Scary Movie.
Billy, I want to muster something. This is what I'm trying to do, okay? Because the city of Howard Eskin and his son.
What?
Don't drag Spike into this.
Spike Eskin?
This is
a great sports radio name.
Stugotz. I don't even know if he's in Philadelphia anymore. Didn't he leave? I'm not sure. I think he might be in New York. You're
not up to date on Spike Eskin?
Well, this is what was happening in Philadelphia. Who's LeBatard? What's LeBatard Show? Where'd you go? Who are you? We don't know you. And I was thinking to myself.
I mean, what? Who are we? Where are we? Open up the podcast app, brother. We're number one. That's where we are. Where the fuck are you? Except 90 minutes away from a city that actually matters.
Well,
you're not doing this to me, Dan. I'm not getting into this.
I'm glad you're not taking the bait.
I'm taking the high ground.
Okay, you're taking the high ground. Maybe I'll try Jessica. Jessica's got a sports fan in her that it can be obnoxious, annoying, not unlike the Philadelphia sports fan, one of the great sports fans of all time.
Please, Dan. I'm a fan of a city in Pennsylvania that actually wins championships. Philadelphia is the worst city in Pennsylvania. Yeah. I only watch the Steelers from Pittsburgh, a city that actually matters, that has more in it than a rusted, old, dusty, cracked bell.
Yeah.
It is the symbol for your city, your cracked bell, symbolizing liberty.
Yo, fuck that bell. Straight up.
Enough with the fucks, please.
Thank you, Billy. Thank you.
You just said it.
Ben Franklin, you're right, Billy.
Also, the Eagles have won more recently than the Steelers, have they not?
Oh, please. All right, we'll give Nick Foles and Doug Peterson their fluky season and their Super Bowl win. They can have that. Congratulations, Eagles, on your one Super Bowl. Ooh, I bet it felt so good.
Transitional champion, like Bob Backlund handing it off to Diesel.
No, man.
Billy, you're not.
I think I'm siding with Philadelphia.
It sounds like you are.
Yeah.
I might join you.
Yeah, you're not going to like your allies on either side.
Exactly.
Earl Curitan.
Thank you.
The Pearl.
Yes. Earl Curitan. He was shaped like a square. I loved those teams. Philadelphia, you break my heart. It's got a crack in it like that bell. You break my heart because I wanted to love you. You made it impossible.
Rocky's dope.
Yeah.
We like Rocky.
I don't know, man. Like, they gave a fictional character a statue in that city. That's
Roy, knock it off.
That
What
is
do you
pretty
knock it
pathetic.
off?
Knock it off on the fictional
He's not
character.
real.
I mean,
Oh, the Statue of Liberty wasn't a person.
That was a gift from France, though.
Roy is right.
Wait a minute. Are there a lot of outside of
Rocky.
Disney World? Are there a lot of statues in cities for people that aren't real, that didn't exist?
You guys knock it off.
There's no statue of Tony Montana down here.
Well,
There should be.
we should have one. It's disrespectful that the Scarface scene with the chainsaw is now a CVS. It's wrong. It's fundamentally wrong. It's 3 blocks from here. It shouldn't be a CVS. Make it something else.
Bought a bag of Doritos out. At
Make
CVS.
it just. Did you?
RoboCop has a statue
Yeah.
in Detroit.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
God, Detroit. Come on, Detroit. RoboCop.
Where else do they go, though?
No,
I
but
mean,
come on, RoboCop.
Dick Tracy has one too.
Dick Tracy has one. Where?
In Illinois somewhere.
huh?
Illinois also has a giant bean, so I'm not sure where they fall in this argument.
All right, I need to. Can I get you all fired up? You don't
I
have.
hate Philadelphia.
No, I know,
man.
but
No,
Billy-
you can't. You can't get me fired up. I'm not doing this.
Billy, do you
The
have
Cat in the Hat has a statue
Get out of here.
where?
Wow.
in San Diego.
Wow.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, Tony saw another one in L.A.
Tony's
Two cat in
wait
the
a
No,
Isn't that-
Dan, we saw one on our Hollywood tour, which was a great
Wow.
one. Did a nice little like half. It was like a van
When's
cut
that
out, and there was like
coming
an awning on the van, and they took us through Beverly Hills, and they actually took us to Dr. Seuss's house. And on the outside of Dr. Seuss's house, there's like one of those fish. You know what I mean? Like those fish.
Yeah,
They're
was
like
it a
carrying
One
the
fish,
plates.
one
Red
fish, two
fish or a
fish.
blue fish?
It was silver.
Oh,
It
was
a
there
silver
one or
fish.
two of them?
Just one.
Oh,
But he was
red
holding a
fish.
lot of plates, and like they were gonna fall, but they never fell.
No Sam I am.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think it's pronounced Soyce.
it is pronounced Soyce.
Fine.
Tony,
Did you see where the Muppets are made? Is that
No.
in L.A.?
No.
Jim
Go ahead,
Henson
Dan.
Studios.
Go ahead, Dan.
you and Chris Cody were tourists like you've never been out of a place tourists in LA, right? You guys were like on Rodeo Drive or going around Beverly Hills. You guys were in the duck tours. Like,
Well, it wasn't a duck tour per
I
se.
love a duck
Think
tour.
about like
I
think
do.
about like a cargo van, but like half of it was cut off, and then there was an awning like attached to it. But Chris and Chris were both sitting on a comfortable chair, and I had to sit in the middle, and the seatbelt thing was right up my "Where's my uncle?" and it was tough. Chris Cody was more.
Where's my uncle? Where's my
Yeah,
uncle?
because,
no,
you know-
it's how's your uncle?
No, but that's if it goes up. It
There's
was just
your
right
uncle.
there, right? It was more like a "How's your uncle?" instead of like "Where," whatever.
What are you talking about?
You get it. That,
We all
This
know.
guy gets it over here.
He's in his asshole.
Yeah.
Right.
So here's the thing. Chris Cody was saying that he could never live in LA because every time he saw somebody famous, he'd tell people about it and where he saw them. So he was more of the tourist than I was. I've been to LA a couple times, so it's not my first flying around the track,
Not your first rodeo.
Okay, so it's not my
You
first.
should have said your first rodeo.
I know.
Well, that
Missed
would have
opportunity.
been. That was such a good joke.
out.
It's not my first rodeo. What did you say?
Not my
That kind of
first
thing.
rodeo. Yeah.
That a boy, good save.
He said something around the block. He used the cliche wrong. In bragging about having been to LA a couple of times, Collinsworth said a couple of things during the broadcast. I don't know if people were talking about this, but Collinsworth got a play right where he said that Stafford was going to scramble or Burrow was going to scramble up the middle, and Al Michaels was very complimentary, called him partner. You got that one right, partner. And Collinsworth leaned in and said, I've seen a few of these things. Or he had some
He
bass
was
in
being
his
Max
chest.
Collinsworth.
Well, no, he was telling you that, yes, I evidently that he sees everything before it's going to happen. And because he did the Romo one time, he really leaned into, I've seen a few of these, was the phrase that he used.
Okay, I might be reading too much into this interaction, but did you guys notice when Michelle Tafoya did her final sign-off with Al and Chris, they said, like, it's been so great working with you, blah, 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 like, really nice things about her. And then they cut to Al and Chris in the booth, and it looked like Chris was about to say, like, it's been great working with you, too, to Al, but then just started talking about the game again. And I don't know if anyone else caught this, but I thought they were about to say, like, this is our last game together, like, it's been a great journey, whatever. Great working with you. You're a great partner. Instead, they're just like, Cooper Kupp, and then they went on and talked about the game. I thought it was very weird. Did
She
anyone
was
else
trying to
notice that?
say, was Michelle, I didn't see this. You're saying, let's examine this for a second because the world was watching. Michelle Tafoya and everyone in media that knows about these things knew she's retiring. And you're saying that she tried to say goodbye to Chris and Al on air?
No, they did. They said goodbye to her.
They said goodbye, right.
And then she was done. And then it sounded like they were going to say goodbye to Al, but then they didn't. They just awkwardly started talking about the game again.
It sounded like Chris was on the verge of saying goodbye to Al when she threw it back to the booth.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Did you actually see it though, or you just
No, I saw it. I stuck around. I saw it.
And
I really didn't think about it at the time, though. I just felt like Collinsworth was in the mode where, hey, I got to say something about the game. You know?
It was weird.
I have to apologize to the Ben Franklin estate. He may have not have been the murderer, but he may have housed a murderer, which does give you a hard time.
Okay, I need to know more about this now because if you're issuing an apology after coming strong after Ben Franklin, the other thing that Collinsworth
Should have just asked the question or just posed it as he might have been a murderer.
I think we did that in the poll, didn't we?
No, I flatly called him a murderer.
Yeah, you just
Yeah, he
said it.
did.
And also in the United States, even if someone's dead, their estate can actually sue for slander, libel, defamation.
Mea culpa.
Can't do that in the UK though.
Was it not enough for you to? Wasn't he a slave owner?
Was he?
Oh, I don't know. I just assume all the founding fathers
Yeah,
were.
that's a safe assumption. Hang on.
I don't know
Tony,
if
can
they,
you
I have
get
no.
on this
But
case?
I thought you went one step further. I thought that you bypassed what would have been,
He was a slave owner.
He was? Fuck that guy.
You're safe.
All right, so good. Thank you, Stugotz. We appreciate it. I want to get the spaceship off the ground, though, and I want to fight with Philadelphia because
Not doing it.
it'll make this Heat Sixers series so much more fun.
What? What series?
You're assuming there'll be one.
What series?
They lost by 50 yesterday. Boston has won a bunch of games in a row.
I think right now, the Heat are what? Are the Heat still the 1 seed?
The Heat are the 1 seed. The Celtics are the 6 seed. The Sixers are the 5 seed.
Chances are, historically, given that franchise struggles to get past merely the first round, that this is not going to happen, Dan.
He's the MVP of the league, Embiid is. He took a step back yesterday and just shot it straight into the air. James Harden's been there one day. James Harden showed up in the most ridiculous outfit I've ever seen anyone wear to an NBA game.
What'd you expect?
That is a high bar.
I know. I'm saying it flatly, and I'm
He
asking
was teammates with Westbrook.
I'm asking the internet. Tell me what his jacket was. I'm asking the internet to show me. And yes, Westbrook has worn some unusual things.
I think he just wore a traffic cone once.
Come on.
Okay, I might have been prisoner of the moment, but his jacket, people were looking at that jacket and saying, you did not get up, look in the mirror and say, yeah, I got it going on today. Like, you got to put that jacket back.
It looked like a bunch of Muppet cadavers that were sewn together. Did you read all the James Harden stories that came out yesterday?
I read a lot of them about the bad stuff in Brooklyn and how out of there he was.
Yeah, about how he would show up late to 2 games that were on bordering NBA towns to Las Vegas. So he was he would routinely be late to Jazz and Nuggets games because in between he would always fly to Vegas. And the fact that he meant to opt in with the Sixers, but he just missed the deadline. He just missed it. Luckily for him, he has an opportunity in June to opt in again. But by then, the Sixers would have been out of the playoffs for a couple of months. So who knows?
Durant, some of the reporting was that Durant, Stugotz, made the call on that. And so this is the mutation that you have when you've got the players in charge. And we talked to Matt Sullivan, who wrote that Inside Nets book, and he told us shocking things about just how much Durant and Kyrie were running the Nets. And this is what happens when it's not the structure, the organization. Durant just made a call. The reporting is that Durant made a call and said, yeah, James isn't going to bring us anything. And just like that, a relationship ends that, those 3 guys were in the finals together. Westbrook, we thought that was going to be around for a while.
Yes, 100%.
Westbrook, Harden, and Durant, we thought were going to be whatever we think of the Sixers and the Celtics and the Lakers from a bygone time were.
Are you surprised that was Durant's call? Like that he had the ability to make the call in the first place?
I'm just saying that it's fairly shocking, right, for a super team to come apart that quickly and James Harden nukes it. And this is a byproduct, I would say, of This is what's going to happen when the guys who come from the AAU world get all the power and now can just move guys around, and James Harden will be here for 16 months. We're not going to respect this the way that it used to be respected when guys would play here 15 years. This is Kevin Durant saying, I'm taking my economy to cut. Everyone wants my economy. If this weren't a salary capped league, I'd be making 3 times this much. You want me? It's got to be all my terms.
Right.
I'm going there with Kyrie. That's weird. All right, Kyrie and Durant are going to run that team. How's that going to go? They're going to go get James Harden. Jesus Christ. Blows up in 16 months. Okay, we'll go get another guy. Now we'll get Ben Simmons. And they can do it that way. And what? They've turned the NBA into their personal playground because they have so much power that LeBron can build a bad team for the Lakers and Kevin Durant can build a weird team for the Nets.
But I think James Harden, he's in Houston, and it seems like a great option. Not a good option, a great option to get to Brooklyn. And then he gets there and realizes, hey, that guy's always hurt. That guy's playing half the season. I'm not going to win a title here. I have a better chance of winning in Philadelphia. And I know Durant signed off on it. Maybe both teams are better for it, but I do find that fascinating where the players completely control the league. James Harden decided, hey, I don't want to be here anymore. I played 16 games. I'm done.
But when I want to go to old-fashioned radio wars with Philadelphia as the guy who said that thing about your city, it's from the space of we watched all of this happen here in Miami. This started what happened in Miami that made Mike Ryan the obnoxious sports fan that he is. What happened because the last 12 years of Miami Heat basketball have been a fight, an internet fight.
Been a fight.
It's been 12 years of fighting with people who hate that LeBron and Wade and Bosch did the thing, and then Miami doesn't deserve anything. We're fair weather fans. Stugotz leaves the Ray Allen game early.
I did.
Yes, we're fair weather fans. We don't deserve this. Now we're holding up titles 2 out of 4 years. Everyone's yelling at each other, and we signaled the divide in America right there. Our brown and black city yelling at America as America yelled at our brown and black city.
Fighting with Sixers fans, there are very few rewards in it because they are so emotional and so in the moment.
They won't stop.
It often stops. They come in waves. They if they'll get regular season game number 47 in your face, and they will flood your mentions, and it'll be an untenable situation until they lose to the Celtics for 58 by 58 points, never to be heard from again. They do this every year where they're loud in your mentions, pound their chest for no godforsaken historical precedent reason, and then they go away in May. And they just take it. And then they'll ramp right back up in game 47.
And Stugotz, the America's talking about this trade. Ben Simmons for James Harden. We love the transaction. Superstars going for each other. Seem to make both teams better. We get our fix of, the AAU guys are in charge. All right, they're just going to change the teams and give us different transactions. And now the playoff story, instead of waiting 3 and 4 years for this to fall apart, Kyrie bails on Boston, says he's staying, changes his mind, and now they can do it that way because they have the power in these contracts. If you're going to put them in a salary cap sport, they'll cripple you. Like, you're not paying them as much as you want, but Ben Simmons can nuke you. Ben Simmons goes to the Nets. They seem overwhelming to me if they're healthy. We will see. I don't know. Kevin Durant just fixed his team. He learned some of the things. That.
Well, he's hurt though. While fixing his team, he's hurt, and we have no idea what Ben Simmons is going to look like when he plays.
But we've said that for 2 years, Dan. They seem overwhelming if they're healthy.
Yes.
Kevin Durant, having learned from what LeBron was doing leading through Miami, this is the way he decided to do it. He didn't do it the commercial way. It's a mutant different way, but Durant somewhere realized along this path, if I leave OKC, I can have LeBron power. I can run this league. I go to Golden State, I am LeBron. People are having the conversation, is he the best in the world? Well, you're not as commercial. You're brooding and dark, and you're fighting with people on Twitter, and you're smoking a lot of pot, according to that book, and everyone around you.
The only reason I like him
with the Nets is, I'm just saying that's what's running your team. In a hoodie playing video games, fighting with eggs on Twitter, he says, I don't want James Harden anymore. Let me pick up the phone and call my GM and tell him what to do, and tell Steve Nash what to do. You're my assistant. I'm in charge. For that to be what happens, And now James Harden to end up in Philadelphia. What I was saying, Stugotz, and all I was saying to Philadelphia, because Philadelphia is bothered by this part of it. We were nice to Ben. We supported Ben. We were nice for a long time, and then at the end, it all fell apart. You don't know what you're talking about. And when I say I want Ben to come back with, I feel unsupported, bleep you, I'm mentally strong now, I want to challenge the MVP of the league, it's because it's such a wonderful sports story in the soap opera sport of narrative for angry guy that we've been talking about his mental health. I don't know. You don't know. Is it an illusion? Was James Harden hurt? Charles Barkley's making fun of him, and now people are talking about James Harden's faking it. He was faking it. He didn't want to play. That's how he handled his situation. You rarely get that accusation in sports.
Right.
Ben Simmons is getting the same thing. Your mental illness did not show up until we started taking your money. But Ben Simmons lost $20 million there over whatever his principle was. I don't know what it was, but he wasn't happy, and $20 million of fines wasn't going to fix it. He nukes the organization. At the end of the season, they're closed. That's the process. This story's 12 years in the building. Miami Heat were conquering during those 12 years. The Philadelphia 76ers were the process. The proud franchise, dumping games so that they could get those two guys and beat the Miami Heat. And one of them nuked it. And they hate him. They hate him because he nuked it. I don't know if you want to treat him like a fragile human being, talk about mental health, but a guy at the center of their city was afraid to shoot when the process made Joel Embiid cry leaving the court.
I think they hate him, but I also think they fear him on that team in particular because they're going to have to get through that team to get where they want to go.
How
and Ben Simmons can prevent that from happening.
How great is that?
It's awesome.
And I want in the middle
Philadelphia is scared. I understand.
I want the Miami Heat spaceship in the middle of it to come from the side with Kyle Lowry and Jimmy Butler. I'm just terrified of late game situations. They're good enough in every way except late game situations. And against Philadelphia and the Nets, it might take late game situations.
You don't just have the Ben Simmons aspect to it. It could be a dagger from Seth Curry in the face of his father-in-law who jettisoned him in favor of James Harden. So there's a lot of good storylines.
It's Seth Curry now taking that Joe Harris couldn't make when they couldn't get past Milwaukee because Seth Curry's really good.
It was a really good trade for Brooklyn. I actually really like this Sixer team. I think the absence of Seth Curry kind of hurts them. I'm very curious to see how Harden plays basketball now. He's having, even though he's an all-star, he's having his worst year. He seems to be on the downside. So playing along Embiid, how do those skill sets complement each other? I'm very curious to see how it goes. I think they may have made a bad trade.
You guys see that McGrady, it's not just maybe made a bad trade because Amin is saying you play for right now. You've got Amin Hassan says you've got the MVP of the league. It's not about 3 years from now. But the Harden contract gets really bad. And so the process.
If he opts in.
Yeah, but for the now, it's tough to get better than what you got for Ben Simmons. For the now.
If he remembers to opt in. If he remembers to opt in.
It's flatly a win because they got something for nothing, but they could have gotten something for nothing with De'Aaron Fox or something.
But this is where I want to agitate the spirit of sports radio Philadelphia. Stugotz, this is a desperate time for that team. It's a desperate time at the end of the process. They squandered, you've been a joke Mike Ryan's lifetime. They squandered what Mo Malone did. They've thrown it away, but they still think they're entitled. No, we're with the Lakers and the Celtics. No, man. No. The Lakers and the Celtics have done meaningful winning and been relevant. You've been 8 seeds. You've been 8 seeds in disappointments. Basically, Mike Ryan's life.
Yes. I mean, most teams have done more than Philadelphia in Mike Ryan's life. The Bucks have.
You had Jimmy Butler. You could have done something with Jimmy Butler. You're at the end of the process, correct? Even with the MVP of the league, you're at the end of the process because you just traded whatever represented. Embiid,
part of the process.
You need Embiid needs shooters, Stugotz. One of the things that fixed the Sixers from 2 years ago, they went from Ilyasova and Saric and all those shooters and had a good season to getting rid of those shooters.
Yep.
And then Curry came in and gave them that shooting. They don't have that anymore. It's now.
Well, it's Danny Green now.
I mean,
that's what it is. I'm just telling you.
Okay,
right.
but
Tobias Harris, I guess. It's not great.
But that's what
I know.
the process has birthed that, and nobody's talked about Joel Embiid's body for a long time, but that's something we've been afraid might not hold up either because of the strain of everything on a body that size. But I'm excited about the idea of the Miami Heat. Stugotz, if you say Milwaukee's a problem for Miami because of their size, and Miami.
Milwaukee's a problem that I've never seen an NBA champion. The Milwaukee Bucks are the NBA champions, and it seems like no one is taking them seriously. They're sitting there a game out in the East, and yet we never talk about the Bucks as a team that can win an NBA title this year. It's weird.
You say they're under the radar. It's because nobody. Can you get me stat of the day? It's because there's nobody. Nobody was watching last year's finals, and the pandemic is weird, and we're all living in this weird time where we don't know time. We don't know what times. We don't know when things happened. Give me the stat of the day here.
Start of the day, start of the day. It is the start of the day.
Well said.
Start of the day, start of the day.
We don't know what time
it
it
is.
is
The start of the day.
I'm with you.
Start of the day, start of the day. It is the start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. It is the start of the day.
You say no one is talking about the Bucks, but the Phoenix Suns have lost twice this year.
In 2022? Okay. All right. I was like, I think your math's wrong there, Dano. But no, 2022. That's right. Wow. Yeah, no one talks about them. No one.
It's a nice little trick there.
Yeah, no one talks about them. And if I'm a
Well,
Suns
why would
fan,
they?
because they made it to the NBA Finals last year and they're overwhelming again this year.
Because they've only lost 2 games this year.
Yeah, I got it.
That's wild.
Yep. But
What a
Chris
great
Paul
stat.
plays point guard for him. So.
You mentioned something that made me laugh because I saw a LeBron tweet about how like no one knows what year it is really because the lockdown and pandemic kind of screwed that all up. Did you see what he tweeted out? It's like, we, as in the Lakers, we, the Dodgers and the Rams should all have a parade, one big concert to celebrate that we are the city of champions.
I did. Okay, I did see that, but I didn't realize what I didn't realize is that he had 2 teams in there that didn't win the championship this year. That it was not just Milwaukee, but I'd forgotten that the Braves, because time is an illusion now, and what's bouncing around my head is just Matthew McConaughey in True Detective. I don't know what time it is. I forgot that the Braves won the championship, and
They did?
the Braves are the reigning champions.
Congratulations, Atlanta.
You can't have a parade in Los Angeles with
Long overdue. Congrats.
So he just wants a pandemic parade, like 2 years of the champions from
Hey,
Los
don't forget that we
Angeles.
won. We're not the 7th seed. We're defending champions. We deserve a parade.
We should do that with everything. We should do like a big pandemic birthday celebration. Everyone whose birthday got skipped in 2020 and 2021 gets to just have one big joint birthday party.
I feel like we should get 3 Christmases next year.
Oh my God. I haven't had a Christmas in years, Dan. Years. Years. Easter? I don't even remember what my family used to do on Easter. I've just been eating candy alone in my bedroom for the last 2 years on Easter.
Put it on the poll. I thought
sad.
I've been doing that for the entire 2 years.
Yeah.
Not
Your
just-
entire
Sunday.
life. I mean,
Egg candy is back. It is at every store right now.
Billy-
And Easter's not until mid-April.
Billy, I need you to hate the Phillies. Your only contribution to this has been to
he doesn't want to hate the Phillies. I mean,
He says he hated Bryce Harper.
Yeah, no, Bryce Harper, I did enough of him. Yeah, Chase Utley, Shane Victorino, the flying Hawaiian. So I'm on a flight once. Need to get into that. I think we already have.
You have?
Yeah.
Hey, that's all
You
you
saw him
got?
flying?
You hated that Ryan Howard team. Jimmy Rollins. We had some battles.
Yeah, what does that have to do with the 76ers?
We're trying to draw you in.
Philadelphia. We're trying to.
Awful.
Roy, what do you have for the Flyers?
Well, I can tell you, as you guys remember, 1996, Panthers defeated the Flyers in the
Wow.
semifinals. They
In
beat
your-
the Legion of Doom.
In your face.
Wow.
We've been
Was that Johnny
terrible.
Leclerc?
In your face.
Panthers on top.
We've
Thank
been-
you very much.
That was your championship window, Philly.
It's a nice city, though, guys. Have you been?
Tell
Cheesesteaks are
tell
good.
us about
It
it. Like,
is,
what's
yeah.
so nice about it?
That's
Tim
nice.
Tell
Legler
us on
lives by
Philly.
there. Yeah, I went to Tim Legler's
He
house.
lives in
that
New
was
Jersey.
fun.
Legs.
Well, I mean, don't tell people. where he
Legler
lives.
doesn't live in Philadelphia.
I went
Oh,
to
it's
his
nearby.
house. Yeah, like a 5-minute drive.
Yeah, there are a lot of nice places nearby.
Yes.
I mean, South Jersey and Philly are like the same thing, really. Right?
On
Really
the
New
outskirts,
Jersey.
yeah.
They,
Like Philadelphia bleeds into southern Jersey. Jersey bleeds into New York.
Right.
D.C. somewhere in the middle
So
there.
it's quite
It's weird.
literally very violent place, and the pizza is nothing to write home about.
we terrible at hockey for 25 years, but we beat Lindros.
Yeah. We beat Lindros. We beat Rod Brendamore, John LeClaire, the Legion of Doom line. Yeah, that was
What a great
Ron
line.
Hextall.
Yeah, great line, though.
Hextall.
Yeah.
Wasn't that
Eric-
one of
Eric
their best
Desjardins?
teams?
Yes, that was one of their best teams. Yeah.
Team with Eric Desjardins.
We closed down the spectrum, Dan. We closed down the spectrum.
Oh, that is where the Sixers played once upon a time. Our terrible team closed down the spectrum. We've been bad
Prince
for
of Wales champion that year.
quarter century. We were bad at hockey.
Game 5 was the last hockey game.
That wasn't
Had to close
Lindros'
six
best
spectrum.
chance, was it? That wasn't.
Well, no, they went to the finals against the Red Wings, but they lost.
They never won a cup, though, right? That team?
The team with Lindros never won a
Never
cup.
won a cup.
They
Oh,
ran
Wow,
into Stevie Y.
failures. Oh
Yeah.
my God, the process.
Stevie Y.
Yeah, Stevie Y and Sergei Fedorov.
What a line.
You guys ever been to the Reading Terminal Market?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Reading Terminal Market's
delish.
good.
You guys should go. Have you been? So much food.
The apple fritters, Billy.
Oh,
So good. They have like
Oh.
a lot of people make it.
you could eat there for days.
Yeah.
Billy, why was Tony that hot? Where
I
was
have
he
no
coming
idea.
from? Like
Tony's always that hot.
Good.
Thanks,